Und damit willkommen zur nächsten Folge My Time mit Sandrock. Wir haben gerade ein bisschen Probleme mit Wasser, aber es sollte jetzt ein Event bei uns stehen. Ich hoffe, dass wir alles noch hinkriegen. Viel Spaß! Dann wollen wir mal.
Howdy! Did you get Mion's letter? Never mind, it's a bit of a chore. Here, check out these puppies. All the photos from yesterday.
Fotos von gestern?
I'd probably steer clear of that mailbox of yours for today, but even if you didn't and someone did write you a letter telling you to hold up on the investigation, you'd ignore it, wouldn't ya? Because we made a promise to get to the bottom of all this, didn't we? Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to take these here photographs to the folk we talked about yesterday and find out what all they know. I'd take care of it myself, but to be honest, I can't rightly stand listening to half the folk around here for more than about a minute and a half. So the responsibility therefore lands squarely on you and your lonesome.
Das Problem habe ich bei Cooper.
With all this here evidence and whatnot, everybody'll have no choice but to spill the beans about what they know. At least, I assume that's how it works. So, you ready?
Ja, ich bin dabei.
Yeehaw! Knew I could count on you. Once we clear Logan's name, we'll be heroes. Maybe they'll hold a parade for us. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I gotta get back to the ranch before my pa notices there ain't nobody keeping the yak mail company. Let's meet up at the Blue Moon once you've got the scoop.
Okidoki. Griffin von Jan. Wie gestern schon erwähnt, haben wir den Auftrag, den Wasserturm wieder aufzubauen. Kui hat mir gerade die Anleitung gegeben, also los geht's. Mian bekommt die Wasserleitung und die Pumpstation. Daddy bekommt den Sammeltank, die Turmstütze und die Filterstation. Ich hingegen muss die wenig beneidenswerte Position des Aufsehers einnehmen. Außerdem hielt ich es für angebracht, dass ich, der Präsident der Sandrock Handelsgilde, ein paar weise und motivierende Worte mit euch teile. Und um sicherzustellen, dass du weißt, wie wichtig es ist, keinen Mist zu bauen. Du kennst mich ja, ich bin so ziemlich der netteste Kerl diesseits der Euphala, aber dieser Mathilda, uff, du willst dich doch nicht mit ihr anlegen. Mir liegt sehr viel an diesem Projekt, also glaub mir, wenn ich sage, dass es in meinem besten Interesse ist, alles zu geben. 3 Rezepte. Turm, Lagertank, Wasserfilter. Okay. Da haben wir was zu bauen. Von mir? Gestern war ich so aufgeregt, dass ich gar nicht mehr gemerkt habe, dass wir uns mit den Fotos, die wir in der ganzen Stadt gemacht haben, eine Menge Ärger einhandeln können. Aber keine Sorge, ich habe sie sicher zu Hause aufbewahrt, während wir über den nächsten Schritt unserer Ermittlung nachdenken. Melde dich wieder. Vom Rathaus. Am 28. dieses Monats Jagdmehl-Festival. Ein Rennen von Jagdmehls? Wenn du Interesse hast, vergiss nicht, dich einzuschreiben. Okay. Oh, was ist denn mit dem Sound passiert? Ist ja gar nicht schön. Oder ist das nur bei mir? Geh mal kurz ins Haus rein. Irgendwie ist das Spiel gerade überfordert in der Alpha. Und ich glaube, es hat sich aufgehangen. Aber ich hoffe, es hängt sich nicht wieder auf. Okay, scheint jetzt zu laufen. Hoffe ich doch. Nehmen wir mal den Tau. Vielleicht hier den Rest noch gießen können. Machen uns dann ein bisschen Wasser. Immerhin 4 Stück. Wie sieht es denn hier aus? 50% ist okay. Jetzt habe ich noch 2. Das war's wieder. Ja, super traurig. Weiß. Da kann ich wenigstens schon mal Dinge machen. Alles bereit habe. Ja, ich brauche nur noch einmal Wasser. Für so 2 wahrscheinlich. Dass man sich das nicht einteilen kann, wie viel man verbraucht. Das ist ein bisschen schade. Da habe ich hier Wasser, aber keine Pflanze. Das ist auch witzig. Na gut. Kann man nichts machen. So. Interagieren. Was müssen wir bauen? Wassertank, Wasserfilter und Turmrahmen. Eisenplatten. Uiuiui. Okay. Ah. Was brauchen wir hier? Oh ja. Wir brauchen ganz viele Eisenplatten. Auch nochmal 6 Eisenplatten. Also Eisenplatten brauchen wir ohne Ende. Das wird Spaß. Zwischenarbeitstisch kann damit umgehen. Habe ich den schon? Ich weiß es nicht. Habe ich das Rezept dafür? Wahrscheinlich in der Ring der Gecko-Station. Ah, fangen wir mit dem ersten an. Dem Wassertank. So. Da können wir schon was basteln. Eisenplatten brauchen wir ganz viele. Acht. Brauchen mehr. Oi. Unsere Rohre brauchen wir 4 auf jeden Fall. Ja, dann machen wir das doch mal, ne? Ventil können wir direkt bauen. Das ist mal gut. Oh ja, die zur Öffnung muss ich. Stahlstangen. Erstellen. Okay, gut. Wo ist die Eröffnungszeremonie? Ist die im Tempel? Das ist jetzt schwer zu sagen. Wo ist jetzt die Eröffnungszeremonie? Müsste das nicht hier sein? Bei... Da, wo ich das Ding gebaut habe? Ich meine schon. Ab bis 12 Uhr ist noch ein bisschen Zeit. Können wir auch noch hier die Aufträge schnell abgeben. Ah. Sind wahrscheinlich jetzt alle oben bei der Versammlung. Mist. Mist. Ja. Ah, ich hoffe, schneller als Funktion nutzen können. Nicht gut.
Tailor-made. It's harder to fit it.
And that's my story. I understand if you don't want to go riding with me no more, but I really was harboring good intentions.
Elsie, come on. I think I just forget all about our good times over one little mix-up? Reading Magmol, reading all the little critters? Whenever you drag me out of my shell, I always feel like I never want to go back. But I can't go out all the time. Doing lots of commissions is like my thing, you know? Honestly, nothing stresses me out more than getting behind in my work.
I didn't know it was like that. I'm real awful sorry.
Yeah, I mean, how could you know? Maybe just next time you're having a problem like this, maybe try and find a solution that isn't an elaborate scheme.
Okay, I promise.
Friends?
Friends.
Ging ja darum, dass sie das... Ah, warte.
Dang, you got me good that
Kleines Geheimnis.
I may or may not be in the possession of information that may or may not lead to the capture of something big, real big. Something simply known in the Yak Girl community as it.
Okay.
And I'm afraid that's all I can say for now. I'll let you know how it goes. See ya.
Okay. Oh. Nett, dass du hier vorbeiläufst. Fertig. Yay. Ein bisschen Zeit haben wir noch. Und hier müsste auch eine schnelle Reise sein. Im Fall der Fälle.
Hey there. I'm afraid there ain't much more to know than what's already been known. But I suppose I wouldn't mind you proving me wrong on that. What? Yeah, I made this equipment. So what? I can't hardly be held responsible for everything that moves in and out of my shop now,
Ja,
can I?
stimmt.
What are you implying, huh? You got a lot of nerve. I'm
Ja, tut mir
afraid there
leid.
ain't much more to know than what's already been known. But I suppose I wouldn't mind you proving me wrong on that. Huh? So what if I did? What was I supposed to do? His mind was made up. If you had half of mine left at all. I'm afraid there ain't much more to know than what's already been known. But I suppose... Look, I was close with Howlett and Logan as well. What happened to that man was a gosh dang travesty. But that's just the way things are out here sometimes. All it takes is one slip up and you're gone.
Ja, es wird schon
I
irgendwie
always
seine
considered
Gründe haben.
myself to be like an uncle to Logan. I would have taken him in, but I guess he didn't see it that way. I worry about what Logan might do, and I worry about how the more things escalate, the less likely I'm ever gonna see that pup I used to know ever again. There ain't gonna be an amicable settlement at the end of all this, so don't over-involve yourself. Be seeing ya.
So, kann ich abgeben? Jawohl. Schön. Ja, dann wollen wir noch mal möglichst mit allen quatschen.
Hey, it's Skinny Arms. How can the protectors? What's that? Making bombs now, are we? Haha, finally! You're getting into building cool stuff. I meant to say something to you. Oh, I see. Yes, now that you mention it, I believe I have seen these kinds of bombs before. Yes. It's coming back to me. That foul
Der fiese
Logan's
Gefährte?
paramount compatriot used those kinds of bombs as his weapons of choice. A bit cowardly, if you ask me. If you don't have the guts to look someone in the eye as you punch them in the teeth, well, in my book, you shouldn't be fighting at all. Furthermore, these puny things would hardly scathe an indomitable chevalier such as myself. Hey, it's Skinny Arms. How can the Protector serve you today?
Der ist so cool. Hast du Logan in der Nacht gesehen?
Trying to track down that dastardly Logan, are you? Good on you, Skinny.
Skinny, Spaghetti.
If you do find out where he is, why not tell me first? Skip the civil corps. Skip the paperwork, you know. Make sure Logan gets some real justice. No? I thought we were doing extrajudicial stuff already. It's not such a stretch from what you're doing now.
Ei.
The night Logan attacked our temple, I was at home pumping iron. Yes, I believe I was trying to perfect a 300 kilogram clean and press with one finger. But my darn Palmar interrosius.
Okay.
As soon as I heard the explosion, I rushed out of my room to see Burgess knocked out. That's something I see all the time, but what really caught my
Ja, da müssen wir
attention was the
Burgess auf jeden Fall fragen.
exploded temple.
Der wird dann wohl mehr gesehen haben.
I managed to catch a glimpse of Logan riding away with someone, but they were too far gone for me to pursue.
Ich frage mich, ob die Zeit gerade als
It really
weiterläuft,
is
wenn
time
ich
for
mit
me
ihm
to
rede.
get a loyal steed to call my own. Nah, I'll just keep training to run faster. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to my story as much as I enjoyed telling it. Say, Skinny Arms, you're a good listener. I'll have to... Hey, it's Skinny Arms. How can the... No more questions?
Keine Fragen mehr. Die Zeit sieht gut aus.
Howdy there. Any news to report on the walk? Goodness, nowhere ever did you find this. You know, you don't need to be sneaking around, acting all suspicious if all you're after is information.
Na, sie wirkt aber auch ziemlich echt.
Yes, this makes sense. Although I must admit, this shows a level of organization from Logan I can't say I was aware he might be capable of. No doubt you started to put things together since your arrival, but perhaps you'd best hear the tale in its entirety to dispel any misconceptions you might have about the whole ordeal. Not too long before you started living in Sandrock, a great tragedy struck this town. Howlett, the monster hunter, and his son
Schwierigkeiten, aha.
Logan, with Howlett, when diving in some ruins, explicitly blocked off by the Civil Corps due to an abundance of unknown and dangerous substances. Sure enough, he became contaminated with something bizarre. Logan reacted rather wildly after Pastor Miguel quarantined his father inside the temple and refused to let Logan come in contact with him due to fears of contamination. He couldn't believe his father would be so careless as to come in contact with dangerous Age of Corruption concoction. One night during the quarantine, Logan attacked the temple with bombs. I assume it was to free his father from the quarantine. But whatever the case, Logan botched the operation and parts of the temple collapsed. Us church folk were all outside, but Logan's father was still in there where we'd left him, and when we found him down there, he was already gone.
Ja, das war's.
Logan blamed us church folk for what happened, and now he seems bent on some kind of revenge. And he'd sooner take down the whole town if it means getting to us, I reckon. Howdy there. Any news to report on the water tower? Well, of course, I was there at the scene of it all, as were most of us. I came out after the explosion, but by the time I knew what was going... Howdy there. Any news to... I
Okay.
appreciate your... Try not to get to...
Das ist ihre Sicht der Geschichte. Hier haben wir Burgesse. Schauen, was er zu sagen hat. Was er gesehen hat. Oh. Aber mit ihm zu sprechen ist immer schwierig hier.
Oh, hi! You're looking kind of serious. Is everything...
Oh, gosh. You want to know about that night? Well, let me think.
Ah, kein Wunder, wenn man bewusstlos
Everything is
ist.
a bit...
I was taking the late shift, helping out with patrols, making sure nobody snuck in to see old Howlett, who was being quarantined. It was a stressful time for all of us, but obviously Logan was affected the most. Sure enough, he showed up and the last thing I remember is me politely explaining to him that going into the temple right then was against the rules. Then everything went black. When I woke up, everybody helped me to my feet and wanted to know what happened, but
Also wurde er
I
scheinbar
didn't really
einfach
see
ausgelockt.
anything. It's all very sad. I can't help but think if Logan hadn't acted so irrationally, perhaps his father would still be... Some things are best not to dwell on. What happened happened. No one wanted it to be this way. Blaming anyone won't bring him back. I think the sooner Logan accepts that and takes responsibility for what he did, well, perhaps the sooner we can have him back in the flock.
Ja, immerhin bieten sie die Option an.
Maybe the
So,
reason no
zumindest.
one's talked about this much since you've been here is we're all really sad about the way things turned out. Maybe some people also fear that it's something they did that drove Logan down this path. Logan will come back to the light one day. I'm sure of it. Just make sure to stay safe out there. And remember, we're all in this together, so don't hesitate to ask for help.
You're looking into the Logan incident, eh? Dreadful stuff. Quite displeased to see things turn out.
Wellen geschlagen.
But it can't be helped. To be blunt, if Howlett had stayed out of the ruins we all know are too dangerous to explore, he'd still be alive.
Ist wirklich eine Kontaminierung oder hat er etwas gesehen, was er nicht hätte sehen sollen?
Yes, I made the decision to put Howlett under quarantine. Yes, it did enrage Logan and drive him to madness. But I did what was best for the town, and I'd do it again if I had to. It's not a pleasant tale, just like the state of our world, unfortunately.
Hey, are you okay?
Das Foto zeigen?
Oh, this. I never should have drew this.
If I knew what was going to happen, I never would have. We used to go on lots of adventures. Then Logan changed. He didn't care about me, or my mom, or anybody. My mom said if things get better, we were going to rebuild a school in Sandrock. But things got worse because of Logan. Now I'm the only kid in town. Hey, are you okay? He told me right before the incident everything would be okay. He lied. Hey, are you okay? Logan used to be my friend, but now I hate him.
Traurige Worte.
Hey there. How you holding up?
Yo,
Wow.
das alte Foto.
Where'd you dig up an old relic like that? Yep, that's me in the background. But I can't say I remember too much about this day. Oh, people were always getting married in the blue moon back then. Logan's ma. What was she like? I can barely remember her face if not for this photo. She skipped town not too long after Logan was born. Shocked everyone with that move. Hardly worth mentioning Logan's old man. Howlett took it the hardest. But you'd never have guessed it from this photo. Looks like a match made in heaven. Except for the tear down the center, I guess. When Howlett came back with the disease and was put in quarantine by the church, Logan really lost it. He started shouting for them to release his paw outside the temple door. Understandable. Howlett was all he had his whole life. Well, that's not completely true. I considered Logan a friend once. I really just hope he sees through all this madness and turns himself in. Then maybe the healing can begin. Hey there! Yeah, not that night. But he came into the saloon that day with Haru, and they were acting real strange, buying up a lot of supplies. It was later that I heard that they blew up the temple in an attempt to get Howlett out, and the old man died in the blast. Frankly, even if Logan did manage to get Howlett out of quarantine, it would have endangered us all with the disease. Real sad story. Other than that, though, I'm afraid I don't know much of anything. Hey there! How you holding up?
Good.
So you're trying to find out more about Logan, huh? Yeah, I don't blame you. It's all pretty weird. Never heard of a decent fella going bad so quick like that. My hope through all of this is that nobody else
Ja,
gets
das hoffe ich auch.
hurt. Well,
Vor allen Dingen nicht beim
good
gutes
luck with
Wasser.
whatever it is you're doing.
Danke, dass ihr euch hier so schön versammelt habt. Viel Laufwege gespart. Hey. Einzige Frage ist, war die Quarantäne jetzt wirklich gerechtfertigt? Wasserturm ist halt, nee. Hopp. 3 Hauptmissionen. Hopp. Findet heute... Ja, aber wo? Bis das beginnt, kann man ja vielleicht nochmal hier schnell hin. Dann sehen wir ja, wo es stattfinden sollte. Ab 12. Avio.
Hello there!
Bist du wieder am
What stroke of
Spielen?
luck has brought you my way?
Das Foto.
It seems my secret supplier has been revealed. Yes. I told Mian that those recipes were company secrets, which was true. Only Haru and myself are privy to such knowledge. What? I was the only one left around here who knew how to make that stuff. I'm supposed to just give away my recipes like that? It's really so unpleasant what happened with Haru. Not only because I consider him a friend of mine, but also because of that great mind of his. He was always coming up with inventions and such. We had a really good deal. All the products he showed me how to make, I put up in my shop and we split the earnings. 50-50.
50-50.
I've even put aside what he'd be making. You know, if he ever comes back. Whatever would a bright and unassuming fellow be doing with a barbarian like Logan anyway? I say there must be blackmail involved. Haru would never turn against us on a dime like this. Well, friend, now that you know how to make the stuff, care to not spread it around too much? Hello there! What's so good luck to spot you my way? That night? When Logan attacked the temple?
Ja, diese Nacht.
I'm afraid I didn't see anything. I was just at home going through my inventory. I found out about all the commotion later. Hello there! I think it's great. I wish you luck in...
So, jetzt haben wir auch schon 12. Gucken wir doch mal auf der Karte, ob wir was Neues sehen. Oh, ich sollte auch mal zwischenspeichern, nicht, dass das Spiel wieder abstürzt. So. So, gucken wir mal auf die Karte. Ja, hier muss es sein. Aha. Nehmen wir doch mal direkt die Abkürzung. Wir müssen noch weit laufen, aber wir schaffen das zeitlich. Bestätigen. Eisen und so werden wir auch ohne Ende brauchen. Den Wassertank finde ich aber gut. Wenn es mal länger dauern sollte, für eine Hauptmission, ist okay. Habe ich mehr was vom Spiel. Ui. Okay, das ist eh gesperrt. Sand running.
Oh, hey there. Here for the ceremony, huh? Well, this is it. I paid an arm and a leg getting advertising all the way out to Atara. And this is the turnout.
Das Ergebnis, dass keiner da ist?
Logan. Why couldn't he have blown up the water tower next week? Or better yet...
Ja, besser gar nicht. Und deswegen sind die Leute nicht gekommen, aus Angst, ja.
Well, on the bright side, since there's no one here, there's no one to see how miserable of a failure this is. Thanks for coming out to show your support. I'm sure you've still got plenty to do after the attack. It means a lot. This ain't the end of the world, though. Maybe once the Civil Corps finally catch that note, couldn't it? I'll paint the sleds a different color and rebrand the whole thing or something. I even had this gift specially picked out for my first customer, and I guess my first customer is you now, huh? I guess technically Burgess was here first, but his beliefs wouldn't allow him to accept a relic. Here you go. Oh, speaking of Burgess, he wanted to talk to you. He feels responsible for getting the ball rolling on this thing, I guess. I mean, catch you later. We'll
Dafür kann er ja wirklich nichts. Denke ich. Ah, Burgess steht hier direkt rum. Cool.
Hey there.
Ist aber schnell auch
real shame
hingekommen.
about all this. It seems like this whole entertainment thing blew up in our faces, and it's all my fault. If I just hadn't bothered with that darn survey. Well, I suppose one could blame Logan, as his antics did scare everyone away from the ceremony, but oh shucks, let's call it 50-50.
Oh shucks.
What's more, I realized that my survey, which was intended to support the need for giving people in town a rest, actually ended up putting you builders back to work. Well, I'm real sorry that things turned out like this. Foresight is not your strong suit. Miguel always says that about me. If it means anything, I did want to tell you that I think you did a really great job on the sand sled thing, even if nobody showed up. All the stuff you've been doing for Sandrock, well, a lot of people appreciate it. We're all rooting for you. So, I saved up some money and got you a week-long pass to ride on Katori's sand sled game as many times as you want. I got one for Mian, too.
Was bringt
you guys
das?
have been working well. Have fun. Be careful. Those sleds can get real speedy.
Auf jeden Fall mal ausprobieren. Oh. Was kann man hier machen? Übungsmodus? Jo. Unterschiedliche farbige Geschenkboxen haben unterschiedliche Effekte. Rampen auf der Strecke ermöglichen dir das Springen. Versuchen Sie, die nützlichsten Sprünge zu finden. Das ist deine Position. Okay, aber ganz normal rein, oder? Oh. Oh. Das ist wahrscheinlich eher so ein Modus für den Online-Modus später, da kommen wird, ne? Beschleunigen. Ja. Oh. Den kann man auch. Oh. Das. Ich glaube, hier fehlt noch ein bisschen Musik. Sehe gar nichts. Gut, ist jetzt auch nur Übungs... Oh, okay. Das konnte man gar nicht so gut einschätzen. Ist das Ziel genug, ganz viele Geschenkdinger einzusammeln? Wer weiß. Kann ja auch sonst nichts Großartiges machen. Ist ja auch jetzt nur Übung. Was ist das hier mit der Rampe? Oh nee, vielleicht sollte man nicht dagegen knallen. Lieber hier einfach weiterfahren. Ja gut, die Übung haben wir jetzt gesehen. Ich glaube, wir probieren in der nächsten Folge mal ein richtiges Rennen aus und gucken, ob das irgendwas nützt oder nicht. Ansonsten bedanke ich mich wie immer fürs Zusehen. Heute war es eher eine ruhige Detektivfolge. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.